A big motto that I have in my life is be so free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. That's what I would hope that people take away from the show, not only in thought, but also in practice and how we show up for ourselves, for each other. My name is Hagudeza Fantauzzi, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist based in Philly. We're at Taller Puertorriqueño for my show Mi Isla, which explores Puerto Rico and trans identity. The show is autobiographical in nature since I'm exploring it through the eyes of my experiences through my identity growing up in Puerto Rico, then in Philly, and then also through like my identity coming into myself as a trans woman. I think my whole life I've been trying to find how I fit in the world. And that first avenue was through religion because it was such a big part of my family, whether it was evangelical or Santeria. It was always religions that to me are very performance based, and movement was sort of a really big part of them. For me, movement has always been an integral part of like how I create work. So that's how I stumbled into dance, and I was a professional ballet dancer and choreographer. And during that time, that was my first visual language, and it sort of translated into my art when I started creating sculptures and video works of trying to incorporate movement. La Guerrera is 5 photographs that shows me sort of in movement. My body was spray painted, and I wanted to put the Puerto Rican flag on my body, sort of as a signifier of us sort of coming together. Trying to incorporate movement in a way that is not just steps, but also just in the way that people exist or fabric moves, and trying to visualize it in that way in the work. It's 5 photos, but they work together. So I think it's nice to be able to step back and intake all 5 images before you intake them one by one. En la Mano de América was inspired from my time moving from Puerto Rico to Philly at a young age. We moved in with my tío, Anthony, and he had this bead curtain that went into his kitchen. And for me, a lot of the work that I create is inspired by the things that I saw growing up, the imagery, the movement from like my family. And that specific piece is sort of that imagery of seeing that bead curtain as like the background of him standing there and how much he meant for me and like my upbringing and how I see the world and like my identity specifically as an Afro-Puerto Rican. A lot of my work I think is very clear of what you're seeing, my body with the flag painted on my body. But then some of my work takes a little bit more time to digest what you're looking at. For Tierra y Carne, I wanted to explore photos from vacation websites on the internet. So I projected one of those images onto my body and then had it printed on linen. And I wanted to distort it to sort of create the imagery of how they sell the island to visitors and people who want to come in and steal land to create luxury experiences for visitors, and then have that sort of distorted with like the reality of what locals experience through those things. But really the inspiration of the imagery was a palm tree, a leaf. So I sort of took inspiration from that and wanted to explore what that would look like while still being in the same world of using Puerto Rico, imagery of Puerto Rico, and then my body as the imagery to represent transness. Libertad, libertad, quiero libertad. Mi isla será libre un día y yo también. It means freedom, freedom, I want freedom. My island will be free one day and so will I. That statement comes from the film El Castigo de Dios, and it took me a minute to see if I wanted to add it on the wall, but I felt like the way the gallery moved when you turned the corner, I feel like it tied together what the show is really about, which is autonomy and freedom. El Castigo de Dios was the first piece that I created for this show. The original installation was titled "A Machete from Our Altar Kept Me Safe," because when my family moved here, we had an altar and there was a machete there. And at night, I would wake up super scared, so I would walk to the altar and take the machete and put it under my pillow. So that was like really what started the initial imagery in that piece. In some ways, I've found my wish of being free and choosing myself, but I think it's the sort of thing that you're always fighting for. You have to fight for that freedom and those rights, because there's always the powers that be that want to take those things away.